Hey guys, how are you all today? I hope that you are well. I hope you had a great start to your week. I am just prepping my studio for my clients this week. I wanted to share with you some tips on staying organized in your business and just keeping on top of everything because, we're sort of, second, third week into February now, and, we sort of start the year off with all these plans and all these intentions, right, to do everything really well. But you kind of lose momentum when you get really into the new year and you start seeing your clients and life starts to get busy. So I just wanted to share with you some tips about sort of staying organized, keeping organized, and just anything really that can help you guys move forward in your business. So for those of you that have never met me before, my name is Dawn Rose. I am by day a hairstylist and makeup artist, bridal specialist, and by night I try and help other hair and makeup artists start and grow their business in hair and makeup, but using this wonderful world that is the wedding industry, so that I can help you attract new brides, retain brides as clients, even though brides get married once, and then create a consistent income in your hair and makeup businesses. And if you like what I am talking about today, don't forget to share it out amongst your friends and fans that you think might benefit from it. And also do not forget to give me those hearts and those thumbs up, even if you are on the replay. I really appreciate it. Leave me comments below, even if you are watching on the replay, and if I can answer them, I will get straight back to you. Okay, well, let's get stuck in. So I'm going to give you 6 tips to kind of stay organized while still obviously keeping our creative juices flowing. And my first tip is something I shared at the end of last year, which is to plan out your year. So if you've now got to February, guys, and you haven't done that yet, and I urge you to plan out, the next 12 months of your business. It doesn't have to be really, really detailed, but what I really want you to do is look at the days that you're available, first of all, for your weddings, and then look at the days that you're not available. So you need to plug in your holidays, and you need to plug in the days that you want for, rest and relaxation, right? We need some R&R sometimes. Maybe you want to be available on a Friday one week and not the Saturday that week. So the first thing you need to do in a big planner, in a big calendar, and this is probably just making it very, very generalized for you, is work out the days that you can actually book brides in and the days that you are unavailable for brides. And what I'm going to say to you as well is, whilst it's okay to move some of those holidays around and say, all right, well, I've kind of been offered a wedding this weekend, and so I'll take it off the next weekend. What you need to stop yourself doing is not having that rest at all. So don't keep moving those goalposts all the time. If you want to take some time off to rest and relax, and I highly recommend that you do. Weddings are very, very, very stressful. It's a very long day on your feet. Definitely book and plan to take the day off, and then kind of nurture that space. So when somebody comes along and they want you to do a wedding on that day, at some point you're going to have to say no, and know that it's going to be beneficial to you for your health. Whilst you might be thinking, oh, but I'm going to be losing out on money because I'm not going to book a bride that day. What I'm saying to you is, sometimes we just have to do that for the sake of our health, and we have to say no to business. So plan out your year, make sure that you know exactly when you're available and exactly when you're not available. So that's my first tip. My second tip is to look at batching your content. And when I say batching, I mean doing a whole group of things together. So for example, social media. When you're thinking about what you're going to put out on social media, this might not be something that you'll do a whole year in advance. I perhaps don't expect you to plan your whole social media calendars a year in advance. But what I would say to you is that it kind of in 1 month even intervals. Look at all of the photos and images, maybe the quotes and your videos for your social media, and look at doing a lot of pre-recording. Use apps. My third tip is to use apps, so kind of relates to number 2. So batching your social media. If you use apps and even like your Facebook scheduling tools. So using apps and scheduling tools like Buffer, Hootsuite, Meet Edgar. You've got Later, which is the Instagram one. You can use the scheduling tool with inside Facebook, but batch your content. So that means get onto Canva or PicMonkey, whatever it is that you use, and every time you want to do a social media post, maybe make 4 or 5 different social media posts at the same time. But you know what? Plug that time into your calendar. So go back to your calendar and go, okay, on Wednesday, you know, the second week of every month on a Wednesday, I'm going to spend half a day doing all of my social media posts and getting them done. Maybe you'll do all of your Instagram posts and you'll do all of your Facebook posts, and you're also then going to plan out your videos and what you're going to say in your videos. Maybe you're just outlining those because maybe you want to come on live and do those live, but again, plan them out and then pump them into your calendar, because it makes things so much easier when they're visual. So tip number 1 is to have your calendar and to plan the days that you're going to work and the days that you're not going to work. Tip number 2 was to batch all of your content, and tip number 3 was then to use like scheduling apps and use Facebook. Facebook has its own scheduling app inside your Facebook pages. You can go in there and click, before you click post, it says, do you want to post it now? I know on your mobile phone it says, do you want to post it now? Do you want to schedule it? You can click to schedule, and you can schedule loads and loads of posts so that they go live at certain times throughout the week, throughout the month. So I highly recommend doing that. My next tip is with regards to planning your time to actually read your emails and read your social media. So I would definitely recommend breaking this up into maybe twice a day. I know that might be hard for some of you, but we are really tempted to go on our phones all the time. Now, if you're actually in a hairdressing salon, beauty studio, maybe you do a lot of work during the week, perhaps you don't have time to check your phone. So actually having a specific time in the morning or in the evening where you actually check your phone, you check your emails, it's a really good idea to sort of plan that time. And also it's really hard to get sucked into the social media, all right? We get sucked, we kind of see something and someone's had their baby, and then you start commenting on that, and then something else comes up in the newsfeed. Remember as well, guys, that in your newsfeed, it's not always business related things that come up in your newsfeed. A lot of the time it's personal stuff. So I would definitely recommend that you set aside time to answer your emails, and to do your social media posting and stuff, and then maybe set time out for your own personal stuff. I mean, obviously, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be commenting and writing on your posts for your friends and family. Absolutely, you want to be doing that. That's the whole point of Facebook, right? To be social. But when it comes to your business, I think you should definitely set aside business time to work. You know, we've talked before about working on your business as well as in it, right? We have to work on our emails and our paperwork and our quotes and our invoicing. So we have to do that, but you have to set yourself time to do those things, because if you come home from work, say you've done a day in a salon, for example, some of you may even be doing corporate jobs and you're running your wedding businesses at the weekend. I did that for a while. But you know, if every night you're coming home and you're continuously on the computer from the minute you get home to the minute you go to bed, it's not healthy. It's not healthy for you. It's not healthy for your family around you, and it's not healthy for your business either. You really need to structure your time properly to make sure that you're giving everything that you can in that moment to your business, and you're really focused on what you're doing. And what you tend to do, if you start doing a little bit here and a little bit there, some this day, some that day, and you don't have a structure in place, you become inconsistent with what you do, and you probably forget things, and you don't find it as important. So I would definitely say structure your time, structure the time to read your emails, structure the time to go on social media and do your posts and stuff. And then also don't forget as well, it's not just about doing your own, structuring your own posts. You need to look at what your clients are doing too, and you know, you should make comments and thanks for that thumbs up, guys. You should make comments and stuff on those, on your clients' walls and Facebook pages as well, right? We want to keep in touch with our clients. Make sure that as well that you reply to any comments that they've made on your walls. Jenna says, so true, I definitely need to do this. Yeah, definitely, Jenna. Like, if you structure your time wisely, then you'll be really focused, and also you'll be really productive. Because another thing, if you just come home from work and you do a little bit here, a little bit there, you're never really focused. You're never really structured with what you do. You're kind of doing a little bit here and a little bit there. Whereas if you actually set your time down and you think, right, I'm giving myself 2 hours to do this, you become really, really focused with what you're doing, and you use your time really wisely, right? So you're thinking, I've only got these 2 hours and I've got to get it done. So you become really, really productive. So I think that it's a really good tip to schedule out your time, and again, like something that you can plug back into the calendar, right? You can plug in and go, right, every Wednesday I'm doing that. I'm very guilty of this. Jenna, we're all guilty of it. We are all guilty of it. I'm guilty of it, absolutely. I get lost. I think so there's a guy that I follow. He's an entrepreneur, and his name's John Lee Dumas, and he has a podcast called Entrepreneur on Fire, and he interviews entrepreneurs, but he always describes social media as weapons of mass distraction, and I just so agree with that statement. They are completely the biggest distraction. But you know what? When you focus your time and you do it in sort of small increments, I definitely think you become much more productive and you get a lot more done. So that was tip number 4. Tip number 5 is, okay, so this is just something that I've only shared probably maybe once before, but I find it a really good idea to have some kind of project management tool. Yeah, I find it really helpful to have some kind of project management tool to manage my bride's bookings. And I used a computer system, and it was called Asana, Asana. Now I am a bit old school, and I do keep and I do a lot of note writing, and I do, well, up until sort of maybe last year or the year before, I actually still have my paper diary, because I used to really like writing things. I have become a little bit more digital, but I have to say Asana really helped me with that. Now Asana, as I said, it's ASANA. You can just Google Asana, and it's a project management tool. You can use it for free. You can download it and use it for free. And basically it is like task management. You can plug in all the details that you need to do for your bride, when you have to follow up with them, any kind of reminders that you need to maybe order products for them, or order their like goodie bags. Maybe you need to make sure that they've paid you on time. You need to check their contract for things. So you can plug all of that into Asana, and I think it's a really good idea. I have also used, the tasks on my Outlook before, to give you the little chimes that come up on your phone. That's always a good idea too. But I would definitely look at some kind of project management tool that separates your brides from your other clients. So if you are in a salon, if you are running a mobile business where you've got other clients as well, I would kind of keep your bridal stuff separate, because it takes a lot of your time up, and it takes a lot of your attention. So I would kind of keep my bridal clients separate from my everyday clients, and definitely Asana is a great way of doing it. It's like a task management tool, and it's like you can keep all your details of your bride in there, all of your little projects that you're working on. So every single, you should definitely check out Asana, Jenna, definitely. It's a really, really good one. I used to use it all the time for my brides. I don't use it as much now because I'm not juggling as many brides, because I'm kind of picking and choosing the brides that I do. So the ones that I do, I don't use it as much as I used to. But when I was doing literally brides every single weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like it's really hard to manage, 3, sometimes even 4 weddings a weekend. I mean, I may do a wedding that started at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'd have a gap, and I'd do another one that, is about 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I use Wedding Wire right now. Okay, so Wedding Wire, is that a similar kind of thing that helps you? Is it just something that helps you keep in touch with your brides, or is that an actual project management tool? I think Wedding Wire is something that you guys use in the US, right? I need to look into Wedding Wire because I'm not 100% familiar with it. I've heard of it, but I don't know a lot about it. And I also think is it a paid tool as well, Jenna? Because Asana is a free one. That's another reason why I kind of recommend it, because I think when you're getting started, if you can't afford to use those kind of paid tools, then go with the free ones if you can. All right, tip number. So that was number five. Number 6. It's more for contract and keeping. Okay, keeping contracts. Okay, yeah. So that's a good idea. I think I'll have a look into Wedding Wire. Is it just weddingwire.com? I'll Google it. Yes, it's definitely paid. Yeah. And look, I think that when you get a little bit further on in your business, like, spending money in those kind of areas is a really, really good idea. But obviously there's lots of stylists out there who I know that sometimes are just starting out, and so it's a really good idea for me to recommend the free stuff to begin with, and then as people start to get a little bit more advanced in their business, I can say, well, try this, try Wedding Wire. It's yes, it's a paid service, but it does a little bit more for you, and it might help you in these areas, definitely. Yeah. Okay, so my last tip is to use templates. Now, I use templates in everything that I do. I have a template I get 90% of my brides from Wedding Wire. That's awesome. That's really awesome. You see, so then it kind of makes it worth it, right? Hey, Kira, kind of makes it worth it when you're getting your brides from there, right? You want it's called your ROI, your return on investment, right? So you're investing in Wedding Wire, but then you are getting your return on the money that you've invested. So as long as there's a good balance there and that you are actually always making more than what you're putting in, then it's definitely worth doing something like Wedding Wire. Okay, so tip number 6 was templates. I have templates for everything. So templates for me mean, obviously templates, I have my face chart, so I write down when I'm doing my makeup. Templates for me means I have templates set up so that I always ask my brides the same question, so I'm consistent with my with each of my brides. I have templates set up for them to fill out their information. So templates just make things so much more efficient, right? So much easier for us. It helps us stay really organized, to have all of our things in one place. So templates are my tip number 6. They're a really good idea. Even email templates, so much easier to say, thank you for contacting me. Please find attached your quote. If you have any questions and queries, please do not hesitate to contact me. The next steps are to do this. If you had to keep writing that every single time you did an email, it would just take up so much of your time. We don't have that kind of time, right? We're bridal stylists. We are used to deadlines. We need to get things done nice and quickly. So why shouldn't it be any different when it comes to your paperwork? How do you make templates? Jenna, I literally will just, I use like Word or Google Docs. I make templates with my Google Docs. Next time I come on, Jenna, I will share, I'll show you some of the ones that I've got. I think I've still got a few of them, or at least I'll be able to print them off the computer to show you. Or I might even pop them into the Facebook group if you want to see. But I have templates set up. Templates in my emails. Obviously, I have templates for my invoices. For my quotes, I used to use Excel for my quotes. So I'd have a template set up for all my quoting that I would do. So I literally, it would already have in there bride, it would already have the calculations. All I had to do was pump in how many bridesmaids there were, how many mothers of the bride, how many flower girls there were, and it would automatically work it all out for me. So I would have templates set up for that now. I use QuickBooks now, so that does it all for me. So I use the accounting management system, but definitely at the beginning when I was doing things manually and I didn't have the money to invest in my business, you have to do everything for yourself at the beginning, and so to make things easier, I just set everything up as a template, even my phone script. So if someone would call me I would have memorized the questions that I would have to ask these brides so that I'd get the maximum information that I could from them straight away. So having templates set up in your business is gonna, yes, keep you organized, but it's going to keep your sanity as well, and it's going to keep everything consistent in what you do. So let's just have a quick recap. My 6 tips for staying organized in your business was, I'm going to hold up my my notes. So we said to plan your calendar, so know exactly when you're going to be available and when you're not going to be available. You need to batch your content, so look at your social media posts. Jenna says, okay, Wedding Wire does the calculations for me, but having templates for the initial emails would be nice. Yeah, absolutely. And Jenna, you know what? I've got a big webinar coming up soon. I'll talk about that. Let me do my recap and then I'll tell you about my webinar that's coming up as well. So, so we're saying tip number 1 was to plan your calendar for the year. So planning your availability and your non-availability. Remember to plug in when you're not available. That's just as important as when you are available. Number 2 is to batch your content. So batch and plan your social media posts and your videos. Tip number 3 was to use scheduling apps to plan everything out in advance. You can use all those things like Buffer and Hootsuite. They've got free versions of a lot of those. You can use Meet Edgar's, and it's an amazing tool. It's a paid tool from what I understand. I haven't used it yet, but Meet Edgar is meetedgar.com, I believe, and it kind of keeps a bank of all of your posts and stuff, and then you can reuse them, reschedule them, rejuggle them. You can like go into your archives and stuff. It's kind of a Hootsuite stroke Buffer, like on steroids, I think. So, but it's probably something that when you get very established in your business and you're doing a lot of posting and a lot of social media, it's something that perhaps you want to invest in. It's something that I'm looking into right now. So yeah, I think it's batching your content and using those apps is magnificent. So that was number 3, use your apps. Number 4 was to plan your email and social media time, all right, just to be as efficient as we can. Number 5 was to use a project management tool, and I recommended Asana, ASANA, and number 6 was to use templates in your business. Now, I want to just share one more thing with you guys before I go. At the moment, I am working on my bridal business blueprint. So this is going to be a signature course which I hope to launch by the end of this year. And this will be anything and everything you need to know in building your bridal business. Now, I am going to be running a webinar within the next few weeks. I've been busy working on it just recently. I'm going to be running a webinar in the next few weeks, and it's going to touch on a part of that blueprint, but what it will help, and this is just going to your question, Jenna, about the templates and emails and stuff, I'm going to be talking to you a lot about that side of things, like the beginning stages of the brides and capturing brides' information and how we then look after our brides. So that's coming up really soon, and it's going to be about emails and the initial emails and what we should be sending and stuff. So stay with me. I will be announcing the full details of everything that's going to entail really soon, and you guys will be able to sign up to get notification as to when the webinar will be, but it will be within the next couple of weeks. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm excited about the Bridal Business Blueprint course as well, because I'm working really hard on that. So but as usual, guys, you can catch me in all the usual places. If you would like to leave me any comments, if you've got any questions about organisation, if you've got any questions about anything with regards to your bridal business, I would love to hear from you. Let me know. And if you haven't already joined my private Facebook community, go to facebook.com/groups/Dawn's Bridal Army. And we have an amazing group of like-minded hairstylists and makeup artists all building their businesses in bridal. So if that appeals to you, jump on over and get in. And I also have a blog with loads of information, loads of blog posts about building your bridal business, which is at creatingbridalperfection.com. All right, have a wonderful rest of the week. I will try and catch you again towards the end of this week with a few more tips, tricks, and ideas on building your bridal business. Take care for now, everyone, and I shall see you soon. Bye.